Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and next up is the GameStop exclusive Hasbro Power Rangers Lightning Collection Mighty Morphin Goldar. This one is one of a dream come true because it's Power Rangers from when I was a kid. And the fact that we are now getting villains, you know, we had Lord Zed, we now have Goldar, who knows who's going to be coming next. At some point, you know Rita Repulsa has to be coming. But anyway, as awesome as the Legacy Collection figures from Bandai were, there were no villains. It was all just the Rangers, which is still cool. Don't get me wrong. But man, these Hasbro Lightning Collection figures, I'm just absolutely loving. So I'm so excited to have Goldar now. I think he is starting to show up in stores. I'm not sure what's going on. Now, I did pre-order to pick up in store, and it was planned for October. Now I'm hearing that stores will not receive this until October for whatever reason, but those that pre-ordered online, GameStop did ship out, and there was a time where it was saying pre-order, but it was available August 6th, even though it was after August 6th. So you know what? I put in an order anyway, and it arrived. So I'm very happy to get it. Here we go. Let's do it. Goldar, awesome artwork on the packaging. Lightning Collection, Mighty Morphin Goldar there. Side artwork as it continues with the Mighty Morphin logo. A look at the figure on the back of the package. There's some awesome artwork of Goldar there on the side. Here is the UPC for you guys. Not sure if that's going to help since it is a GameStop exclusive, not sold anywhere else. Not sure what's going on outside of the US. I would imagine Canada, it's probably going to go to eBay Games. In Europe and the UK, I'm not sure. I know In Demand Toys, Kapow Toys, none of those websites actually have one available for sale, so I don't know what's going on with it, guys. Sorry, I wish I could tell you, but here in the States, it is a GameStop exclusive. I believe the listing has been pulled down or is saying sold out. Not sure what it is, but I have it. Let's review it. Let's do it right now. Okay, just wanted to show you how it comes out of the package so you can see the Goldar figure with his interchangeable hands, that lightning effect piece, his sword, and then the wings are actually a separate piece, so some assembly required, and they're just kind of stuck in there with these bands. You just got to pull them off and then stick the wings on the figure. Alright, and here is the Goldar figure out of the package, and you know what? I'm very happy with the figure just because it's Goldar. But the figure's got some issues. Now, I haven't messed around with him a whole lot, but a couple of things. He's squishy. Like, he is made of very soft plastic and rubber throughout, like, the wings and the body of the figure, that it's making it a little difficult. Now, maybe he sat out in the sun for quite a while and really hasn't gotten into a cool enough temperature, because, you know, that kind of happens with some figures. Not sure what's going on, but he's kind of squishy, and I got a buddy that said his is kind of a little loose. So over time, I think there's going to be some problems, but you can see now how this wing is kind of drooped down, that it's just kind of how it's going to be, because these pieces are like super gummy. And you can kind of see it's already starting to go down and then pulls down. But yeah, it's a little disappointing, but the figure looks awesome, and I'm super happy with how it came out looking. Now, the plastic choice, that's a whole different issue. From a merely aesthetic point of view, this thing is amazing. But let's take a look at the articulation and get some close-up shots and see how kind of everything is. We'll go from there. So we'll get right to it. First, let's take a closer look at Goldar. Okay, so here's Goldar up close and personal, and you know what? Look at that head sculpt. That is awesome. I love the way that came out looking, and it looks just like he did in the TV show. I actually, for a little bit today, put on that old school movie from what, like 1995. I think I was like 9 when it came out. And you know, at the time I thought that movie was great. That thing is terrible trying to watch that nowadays. At my age, I'm just like, oh god, how did I ever like this? But you know what, cult classic almost. It is what it is. But Goldar was in there, and it was pretty cool. I think there were some changes to Goldar for the movie, because I know that movie was kind of a standalone. It set up kind of the 3rd season, I think, of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But there were a lot of things. So the movie was standalone. Goldar was in it, but I know he had blue gems instead of green. The figure's green. I'd have to go back and see the TV show, see if those colors match. But in the movie, they were blue. I did notice that. Now, sometimes Goldar is like super shiny. Sometimes he's not. So I don't know exactly kind of how that goes and how that works. I think when he's bigger, fighting like the Megazord. I think he was a little bit shinier then. Maybe it's just always the lighting on where he was because it was dark usually, so it's hard to tell. Now, a big complaint that people have had is that he's not real gold. He's not shiny. He's a little shiny, but he's not like super gold or anything. But I do think it looks pretty good. I don't want it to be like a super shiny, like looking like jewelry, because in my eyes, that's not how I remember it. But again, that's just kind of my perception now in my memory, looking back and thinking back on it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do like the way the figure came out looking. Now you have these pieces here that have more of a gold look to them because they do some kind of shading, some like silverish gray shading throughout, so it makes it kind of look gold, a little bit more gold in those areas. So this textured portion here on the skirt piece, a little bit here on the torso as well, and then the shoulders kind of have that look to them. So it's not just this flat yellow metallic plastic that they have, and you know it's metallic plastic because you could see the marbleization throughout, like the leg here, you could see some of it. But again, that head sculpt looks awesome. Red eyes, white teeth, a little bit of gold on the chin, and that's actually a shiny gold. That's probably how everybody wanted the whole figure to look, but in my eyes, this is how he should look. The wings have a nice little blue shading to the feathers. And I don't know what the camera's really picking up on it. If I get some bright light on there, maybe you could see, but you could see a little bit of shading throughout the feathers to give it a little bit of textured look and get it to pop. That's pretty cool because the back of the wings have nothing, so it's all just black. And then again, these are super soft and rubbery material, and they are articulated, so the wings can flap like so. You could get like a swivel into them, even though you really don't need to. And then there's a swivel here at this other piece, and there's also a little bit of a hinge, so you can do the wing like so, or you can extend it out like so. So I think a lot of times in the show, he probably had his wings a little bit down, and you could do that with the figure, and I think that looks really good. But again, they're super soft. So that is cool. I like the way that looks, so be careful with there as he falls down. You get some red in the torso. That's probably a little bit brighter and a lot more red than what was shown, how he was in the TV show. But it looks good. And then red for the kneecaps, and then there's not a whole lot of paint on those legs, just the red and gold on the kneecaps. Down here on his tail, we actually get a little bit of that shading in there, and then it kind of loops up in there. So again, I think that looks really good. Now let's take a look at his accessories, then his articulation. Okay, as far as accessories, he comes with interchangeable hands. So out of the package, he has both left and right open holding hands. The additional hands that he comes with is a nice right open hand, so he can almost look like, you know, he's choking somebody or doing some kind of little hand gesture. And then for the left hand, he has a fist. He also comes with his sword, which sculpt-wise looks pretty good. No paint except that little red gem that's on that, and it looks clean. The sculpt is really nice. I would have liked a more silver color instead of just the gray plastic. It would have been much better, but again, the sculpt I do really like. Paint would have made it so much better. And then continue on with the Lightning Collection Hasbro figures. We get a new effect piece. So it seems like every figure comes with a different effect piece. At this point, I don't even know if any of them have any reused effects. It seems like every single one has a new one. This one is really cool. It actually slips right over Goldar's sword, so you could kind of stick that through. And then these pieces kind of hook onto the ends of the sword. I forget what those are called, but whatever that's called, the sword. And it kind of goes on there like so, except I didn't do it all the way down the middle, of course. So boom, and it just hooks on there, and that looks awesome. I love these effects that Hasbro is giving us with these Lightning Collection figures. So there are the accessories. Let's look at his articulation. Okay, so I already showed you the articulation in the wings. Now let's take a look at the rest of the figure and what he can do. So his head, you're not getting anything in there because the way it is, he's got his hairpiece that goes all the way out onto his back there. You got that little ponytail things that come down here. So that head is not going anywhere. Yes, it can go side to side a little bit, but that's all you're gonna get. I mean, there's a little bit of tilt, but it's not really gonna stay in place. A little teeny tiny bit, but that's it. You get these shoulder pads. Again, this is all like soft material that's over the harder plastic there, so there's going to be a little bit of give in there. So you can get the shoulder up, the arm up that high. That pad will kind of go up a little bit with it. You can get the arm to go up. You could get a full rotation, but it's just going to be a little tricky with this piece. Again, it does go up as needed. There is an upper bicep swivel there. We do get a double jointed elbow, which doesn't give you a lot of bend, only about 90 degrees because the way the bulk of the forearm and the bicep are sculpted, you're not going to get a whole lot of bend in there. Wrists swivel and they hinge. Be careful with these, because if you look at these hands, that's a tiny thin peg for a fairly big hand and pretty flimsy, so be very careful. You can see here mine kind of sticks out a little bit. Something about these Power Rangers figures with these long pegs that I don't like. That's my biggest probably complaint with the Hasbro figures, these super long hand pegs. Drives me crazy. Anyway, those are the hands and arms. So we have a diaphragm joint here, so you can pivot to the side that much. You can pivot to the other side quite a bit. So there's a lot of range of motion actually for Goldar in there. There's an ab crunch, so I'm trying to do the diaphragm joint separate of the ab crunch. So you can get him to crunch down a little bit. You can get him to go back a little bit as well, but the back of it kind of hinders a little bit at that point. But again, there is an ab crunch. So the problem is this skirt piece. So this piece up here is getting in the way of that ab crunch, but you can get it to go back quite a bit. Now to go forward, it's tricky because you got this rubber piece, If you can kind of flip it under in there, you can do that, and you can get a huge amount of bend actually in there. So the articulation works great. It's just a matter of getting used to how you can use it. There's no waist swivel, but again, that diaphragm joint gets you all that motion that you would need anyway. Again, the skirt piece is all rubber. Legs go out that far apart, not a huge amount, but not terrible. Leg can kick out forward that much. Not really going to go back a whole lot. There is, let's see, oh, it's a ball hip joint. Look at that. That's, oh, I haven't seen that in a long time. So you can get the whole leg to turn around because it's the ball joint there. Thought it was an upper thigh cut. It is not. You get a double jointed knee, which works out quite well. There's no boot swivel or anything. Foot hinges all the way down. Hinges up slightly, but you can see that shin guard really gets in the way of that, and there is ankle pivot in there and peg holes at the bottom of his feet. So there is articulation for Goldar, which I think is actually really good. But again, it's a matter of how are you going to get the figure to hold up, because he's a little squishy. But anyway, there he is. Now let's see how he compares to the rest of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection, at least the ones that I have. Okay, so here is Goldar next to Lord Zed, and you know, initially when the show came out, you know, he was with Rita, and then when Zed came into the picture, he sided with them, and then they were together. So it was a big old thing, but Goldar and Zed next to each other. Goldar next to the White Ranger. Goldar next to the Green Ranger, and just because, Goldar next to the Red Ranger, even though those are basically the exact same figure. Not a whole lot difference between the two. Those two, size-wise, they look pretty good. Gold color is very similar. Not the exact same, but similar. It's a little bit brighter on Goldar. I think far away you can't see it as much, but in person, definitely brighter than the Shield. And then next to the Pink Ranger, looks good. And next to the Putty, size-wise, I think all looks really good. You know what, and just because there's some gold going on, so the Gold Ranger and Goldar next to each other, I don't know if these two ever came in contact. I think Goldar was already out of the picture at the time, because during Zeo, it was the machine people things, the evil king machine. I don't even remember what they were called, but they weren't, Rita and Zed weren't the villains at the time. They were off somewhere else. I don't know exactly what was going on. I know they weren't killed or destroyed or defeated or anything, or they may have been defeated, but they were kind of off anywhere. But here are the two next to each other. So this gold matches more so with the dragon shield of the Red Ranger and Green Ranger. So this gold and that gold are not the same. Again, he is more brighter, more yellow color than this guy here. I do still like the way both of them look. So there is my review on Goldar. You guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of the figure. Have you received yours yet? Was your order canceled? Have you seen it in store, or have you ordered online and got it? What is going on? You guys let me know down in the comments below. If you guys liked the video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. It really helps out the channel, helps me out. Really appreciate it. If you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe now. Hit that notification bell so you can get a notification for when all my new videos get posted up. Fair warning, they do go up late at night. Sorry about that. If you get the notification, it wakes you up. My apologies, but I would appreciate it if you guys did that. And as always, guys, thank you for watching.